It all started with a simple hope, the hope of being needed, loved, and an important part of my son's life. I always thought that being a mother was not just a word, but a responsibility, a mission, a reason for existence. Parental love cannot be measured in money or deeds, but in my life, these deeds and money became the language through which I expressed myself. Over the past 15 years, I have invested everything I could in Alexander, my only son. I paid for his education, helped with housing, and even took out a mortgage on the house where he now lives with his wife and young child. I believe that in this way, I was building a bridge between the past and the future, between my warmth and their successful and happy future. However, this year, a few weeks before Christmas, Alexander wrote me a message that turned my world upside down. He said briefly, "Mom, we have decided to spend the holiday with just our family. We weren't expecting you and don't want you to come. Please understand." I reread this message dozens of times, trying to understand how it happened that after so many years, we had become strangers. I remembered the sleepless nights of worry, the days of endless work, and every little thing I did to make his life easier. What was wrong? Why wasn't he waiting for me, despite everything I had done? The bitterness of betrayal and helplessness mixed with another emotion, rage. I felt that I had been used, that my love had become something taken for granted, and now a burden. That same evening, I called the bank and canceled the upcoming mortgage payment. It was not an impulsive gesture, but a carefully considered decision, my revenge, my unheard of demand for financial dependence, which I had unconsciously supported. It took my son just one phone call, and he was already boiling over with resentment and confusion. He didn't understand why his mother, who had always been there for him, had suddenly decided to take away what she had helped build. He accused me of being cold and selfish, and I could see how his words hurt me as deeply as his coldness had before. We entered into a painful game of reproaches, mutual accusations, and misunderstandings. Several weeks passed without any calls from him or his wife Maria. The silence seemed eternal, and it became my punishment. However, one late evening, the phone rang. Alexander spoke quietly, struggling to find the right words. "Mom, I misunderstood many things. We were afraid of losing our independence and our place in each other's lives. Let's try to start over." We met in the same cafe where we used to celebrate holidays with the whole family, and the conversation was full of emotions, confessions, and pain. He told me how difficult it was for him to balance the desire to be an adult and maintain a connection with his parents, and I told him how painful it was to see alienation and feel useless. I realized then that revenge is a trap that takes away your energy and soul, but doesn't solve the main issues. My cancellation of the payment became not only an act of protest, but also a kind of challenge, a reminder that the connection between people should be mutual, not one-sided. We learned to respect each other's choices. I stopped imposing my help, and he began to appreciate not only my money, but also my presence, albeit in a new format. When the next Christmas came, we decided to meet not at their home, but in a small, cozy coffee shop. I saw a different son, mature, responsible, and balanced. We laughed, shared plans, but most importantly, there was mutual respect and love, which we managed to preserve despite everything. This was a lesson for all of us, a lesson in growing up, forgiveness, and new beginnings. Revenge, which takes away support, was only part of the journey, and true healing came through dialogue, honesty, and the ability to let go. This is a story about how you can lose touch with loved ones, but also find it again, gaining freedom and respect in the process. It is a story about how love is stronger than disagreement, and family is stronger than temporary resentment.